Peace. Welcome back to the Absolute Boss Collective. You're tuned in to another episode in the Let Us Begin series. Okay, I am going to do my best to answer a couple of questions. Okay, the main question is going to be, how do you generate income, or how can you generate income in this game? Okay. I'm also going to touch on two other questions that don't necessarily warrant a whole video. Okay. Before we get into all of that, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Turn on your post notifications so you can know when I come back with more videos. Okay. Most importantly, tell a friend to tell a friend. And if you're serious about doing this, let's take a quote from the brother Bob Marley, where Bob Marley said, "Rise, O falling fighters, rise and take your stands again," or take your stance again. Okay, that's what we about here at the Absolute Boss Collective, standing up to big money and fighting to get your piece. You can do it. Okay, now without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so how can you create passive income? There are three ways: buying and holding dividend stocks, selling covered calls, and my favorite, day trading. So when you talk about dividend paying stocks, a dividend is a payment or a portion of profits that a company makes. Instead of reinvesting that money, they pay it out to shareholders. Okay. All you have to do is hold that stock. And if you are holding that stock, when that dividend is paid, that cash is going to automatically be deposited in your account. You can also have those dividends reinvested. Okay, so you buy a stock for $10, right? Let's say the dividend is 10 cents. That 10 cents will then buy you 10 cents worth of another share. Okay? For the most part, this is done quarterly. Quarterly means every 3 months. And that's some of the big dogs pay every 3 months. However, there's also companies out there that pay monthly. Okay, so if you're interested and you want to know some dividend paying stocks, especially some ones that pay monthly, leave it in the comments below and I'll get back at you with that. Okay, some of the highest paying dividend companies are Sherwin-Williams, ticker symbol SHW, Goldman Sachs, ticker symbol GS, United Health, ticker symbol UNH, GWW. I'm not familiar with that one. I haven't traded that one before. Simon Property Group, that's real estate, SPG. Northrop Grumman, okay, that's a defense company. And there's a host of others that pay dividends, okay? Moving right along to the next one. Now, selling covered calls. I made a video about it, so you can watch that video. But briefly, when you own 100 shares of a stock, let's say you own 100 shares of a stock, you paid $50 for this stock, you have 100 shares, that's $5,000. You can sell a covered call, okay? And for this scenario, let's say that this particular stock sells or has weekly options, okay? Meaning that they expire every Friday, okay? So let's say you bought the stock at $50 and you can sell a covered call for, let's say, $55, which means if it gets to $55, whoever bought that call from you will take your shares at $55. Okay, you'll get $55. You get 5,500 instead of 5,000. Okay, the only problem is you lose your position. So the downside to that is, the stock could, let's say this company gets bought out and they get bought out for $65 a share. You sold the covered call the day before they're bought out. So you're going to get $55, but the going value for that stock will be $65. So you will lose $10 per share or $1,000. However, the more you educate yourself, study the stocks that you hold in your portfolio, and study the company, most importantly, studying the price action, you'll be able to know how the stock moves. There's something called ATR, the average true range, and you can use that to gauge how much your stock is going to move on a daily basis, weekly basis, so on and so forth. So if you're familiar with that, you can sell a covered call for a strike price, which means the price that you're selling those shares for, or the price that you're, like the 55 would have been the strike price. Okay, you can sell it at a strike that you know it's not going to reach, and then you collect all of that premium, which is the money that the person paid to buy that option. Okay, so there you have two ways, and those are pretty much what you would call beginner level ways to generate income from the stock market. Okay, the third way, most importantly, is day trading. So day trading is very different from investing. When you're talking about buying these dividend stocks, for example, you're buying these because you believe in this company and you're holding on to that stock, and it's an investment for you. You want to hold it for 5 years, 10 years, whatever, even 1 year. Anything over a year is going to be considered an investment. Okay. Day trading, you're really not concerned with the company, the fundamentals, and none of that. You're just trying to make money, generate money. So you will buy a stock at $25. You will sell it at $25.50. If you trade in 100 share blocks, okay, 2,500 you're putting up, you make 50 cents per share, you're going to get $50. Okay. Maybe you don't have $2,500. Maybe you only have $500. Look for a stock that's $25. You can buy less than 100 shares, but it's going to be more challenging to make it worth your while. However, you can continuously do this and generate income from that. Okay, which leads to another question, which was, how long does it take to generate money? So with dividend stocks, as I said earlier, you are going to receive those dividends on a quarterly basis, every 3 months. Or if you have a monthly dividend paying stock, you can, every month, you will be generating that income. Covered calls, if you find a stock that you're selling a covered call on that has weekly expirations, you will be collecting that premium every week, or you'll be collecting that income every week. Sometimes, or when you're dealing with premium, the more time you're selling is going to bring in more premium. Okay, so sometimes you can sell it for 30 days, and of course you're going to get a larger premium. Okay, now you don't. If you sell the 55 call on that position that you had, you may be able to get $120 initially deposited in your account. Now, in order to collect all of that premium, the stock would need to close on whatever date that you selected below that strike price. You sold the $55 call. If the stock closes at $54.50, you will keep all of that premium, you will keep your shares, and you could do it again the next week. Okay, but let's say you sell it and you sell it for $120, and the next day the stock takes a serious hit, and that option gets cut in half. $60 it's worth now. You can go ahead and close that, collect that $60 in premium, and then go ahead and sell it again. Okay, so depending on how you're selling the cover calls, whether it's weekly or monthly, that's when you'll receive the payment. Day trading, if you're day trading and you have a margin account, you can generate, or I mean, you don't necessarily have to have a margin account, but you can generate income every day. Okay? Every single day you can do this. Another question, how to invest when on a budget. And what I would say is, number one, if you are a person out there and you have a budget, I salute you, because a lot of people do not function with a budget. I mean, I don't understand that. Ever since I was like handing out flyers on Fordham Road, I had a budget. Nah, I'm capping. That's a lie. Not that young. But from my first job, I always had a budget. I always budgeted my money. You know what I'm saying? Always paid myself first and all of that. That was just, street knowledge 101. So if you have a budget, that's good. Now, if you have a budget, you need to look for ways that you can take some income out for investing or trading or whatever. You have to invest in yourself. Okay. So, like if you had one of these, Robinhood or something like that, where you could do fractional shares, then you can invest every day. $1, $2, $5. It's really not going to matter. Okay. But my suggestion to you would be to get a budget if you don't have one. And if you do have a budget, try to, let's say you spend $10 a day on lunch. Try packing a lunch so you could take that $10 and use that to build up your investment account. Okay. So I will that this answered all of your questions. I hope it gives you guys some ideas on getting started in the game. If you're not in the game, hit me up with any questions or comments. If you want to be addressed in this Let Us Begin series, because it's all about starting, okay? Knowledge is the foundation of all things in existence. You have to educate yourself, empower yourself, and get busy. This is your brother in trading and investing, signing off for the Absolute Boss Collective. Peace.